You know that buzzing you hear around your fruit bowl? Yeah, for most of us, it's just a pest, a totally unwelcome guest that just kind of showed up. But what if I told you that tiny insect, the common fruit fly, is actually one of the greatest unsung heroes of modern medicine?
I know, it sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right? But it's a question we should seriously ask, because for over 100 years, this humble little creature has been right at the center of some of biology's biggest breakthroughs, helping us understand ourselves in ways we never, ever thought possible.
5. Just 5. That's how many Nobel Prizes have gone to research that leaned heavily on the fruit fly. And look, these weren't for small discoveries. We're talking about the absolute blueprint of heredity, how our bodies develop from just one cell, the nitty-gritty of our immune system, and even the science behind why we get sleepy at night. All of that knowledge was built on the back of this tiny insect.
All right, so let's get into it. How in the world did a common pest become a scientific superstar? Well, its journey into the lab wasn't some grand, brilliant plan. It was born out of pure, simple practicality.
The story really kicks off around 1901, but the real turning point came in 1909. See, a researcher named Thomas Hunt Morgan was looking for a new subject for his work in genetics. His problem? Mice were really expensive, and his lab was basically the size of a closet. The fruit fly, Drosophila melanogaster, was the perfect fix. Cheap, it bred like crazy, and it was tiny. Then in 1910, bam, he found it. A single male fly with white eyes instead of the normal red ones. That one little mutant fly proved that a genetic trait could be linked to a specific chromosome. And in that moment, the fruit fly's destiny was sealed.
From that point on, scientists realized they hadn't just stumbled upon a cheap lab animal. No, they had found the biological version of a Swiss Army knife, just packed with all these incredible features that were perfect for unlocking the secrets of our genes.
So what are these superpowers? Well, for starters, they're cheap and they breed insanely fast. We're talking a whole new generation every 10 to 15 days. One female can lay hundreds of eggs. Genetically, they're way simpler, with just 8 chromosomes compared to our 46, which makes mapping genes a whole lot easier. But the real game changer is the genetic toolkit scientists have built over the years. They have these systems that work like genetic on-off switches, letting them turn specific genes on or off in specific cells. That gives them an unbelievable level of control.
But here's the part that'll really blow your mind. Despite how different we look, we share about 60% of our genes with the fruit fly. And get this, if you look only at the genes we know cause diseases in humans, an incredible 75% of them have a matching version in the fly. That genetic overlap is the secret sauce. It's the reason this tiny insect is such a powerhouse in the lab.
And this genetic similarity, it isn't just a cool piece of trivia. It's a powerful tool, a living weapon really, that scientists use to model and fight some of our most devastating diseases.
Let's talk about cancer. Scientists can literally flip on the exact same genes that are known to cause tumors in us, like the infamous RAS or P53 genes, and do it inside the fly's gut. And what happens? The fly develops growths that mimic human disease. This lets researchers study how cancer develops in super fast forward, and even screen potential drugs. They've modeled colorectal cancer, lung cancer, brain tumors, you name it.
And it's the same story for neurodegenerative diseases. Now, obviously, the fly's brain is much simpler than ours, but that's actually its strength. It gives scientists a less complicated playground to study the fundamental breakdown of neurons, the very heart of diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. It helps them zero in on the key molecular culprits.
But the fly's versatility doesn't stop there. It's also a huge player in studying infectious diseases. By exposing flies to viruses like influenza or even SARS-CoV-2, yep, the virus behind COVID-19, researchers have been able to pinpoint the specific human genes that these viruses hijack to replicate themselves. And that knowledge is absolutely crucial for figuring out how to stop them.
But hey, every hero has their kryptonite, and it's really important that we're honest about the fruit fly's limitations. It is, after all, an insect. It's not a tiny, six-legged person.
And there are some major differences. Our immune system, for example, has this advanced adaptive part with T cells and B cells that create memory. Flies? They only have the basic innate version. We have a closed circulatory system with a heart and blood vessels. They have an open system where fluid just kind of bathes their organs. These aren't minor details. They create real fundamental limits on how well a fly can model some of the more complex human diseases.
So the bottom line is clear. The fly is an incredible discovery tool. It helps us find the right questions to ask, and it points us in the right direction. But
And this is a big but. Any promising findings, especially for new drugs, absolutely must be confirmed in mammalian models, like mice, before they get anywhere near a human patient. The fly is the scout, not the entire army.
So when we step back and look at the whole story, what is the legacy of this unassuming little hero? Well, it's nothing short of extraordinary. As you can see, the fly's power really depends on the research area. For understanding the absolute fundamentals of genetics and development, it is completely unrivaled. Its strength is off the charts. For untangling the super complex pathways of cancer and neurodegeneration, it's still a very high-impact tool. Its role is more of a starting point when we're studying complex organs that flies just don't have, like kidneys or lungs.
And so we come full circle. We started with a creature that was chosen simply because it was cheap and didn't take up much room. Now, it's a biological superstar that has helped win 5 Nobel Prizes. The fruit fly is the ultimate proof that groundbreaking, world-changing discoveries often come from the most humble and unexpected places.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If this much incredible knowledge was hiding in the common fruit fly, what other profound secrets are out there, buzzing, crawling, or growing all around us, just waiting for us to look a little closer?